What's up, Vaughn? I see you, bro. Oh, shoot. Get my stuff. Yeah, we'll get ready to get them started. Good morning, Sherry. I see your sister. All right. Yeah, so
those of us that indulge in or commit in natural lawlessness, we do so for the pleasure of minimalist ego hitting. We do so because we change the impression in our people's minds of deep and difficult to remove.
Good morning, my children of the sun. Welcome to The Open Eye on WHGE 95.3 FM, the education station. I'm Patrice Gibbs, your third eye optometrist and host, ready to get your eye open today. All right. Before I get them started, I got some business to take care of here. All right. Announcing the opening of the Eastside Pride Recovery Meeting. Our motto, let go and grow. Tuesday, May 3rd, 2022, 7 to 8:30 p.m. at the Central Baptist Church Annex, right here on 9th and Pine, right across the street from the station. And it's open to all men and women, young and old, who desire to recover from addictions, narcotics, alcohol, cigarette, smoking, overeating, etc. Right, there will be a free will offering. If you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, this is the meeting for you. Please come every Tuesday. Doors open at 6:45 p.m. It's sponsored by Eastside Pride and WHGE 95.3 FM in conjunction with Central Baptist Church, right here in Wilmington. All right. I see you, Sister Tracy. Brother Jardea, welcome to the Open Eye, y'all. We're going to get them started. Yes, you know what? Let me get this out the way right quick. All right. Get that disclaimer. Okay.
The views and opinions expressed on the Open Eye are those of the hosts, guests, and contributors, and do not reflect the policy or position of WHGE 95.3 FM, nor our sponsor, the Delaware Center for Homeless Vets. Any content provided by Open Eye's hosts, guests, or contributors are theirs and are not intended to malign any religion, ethnic group, company, or individual.
WHGE 95.3 FM. Oh boy, I got a lot to get going here. You know what? I'm going to start with this. It is something to show you how little things have changed and how aware we are of our condition. You know, in 1944, a 16-year-old black student in Columbus, Ohio, won an essay on the theme, What to Do with Hitler After the War. By submitting the single sentence, put him in black skin and let him live the rest of his life in America. She won the contest with that. She won the essay contest just with that one line. Guess what? That one line is still valid. It is still valid here in America today. That's for sure. I said, you know, I like to get started with some of our history. Oh, let me see. All right. Yeah. We're going to go right here. You know, I've been seeing this for years from white supremacists, and that's that we owe them a debt of gratitude for participating in the Civil War. Yeah, they actually, I don't give a damn if 1 million of your ancestors died trying to free mine from slavery. Fighting and dying to dismantle the very system which your people created to place my ancestors in bondage does not entitle you to my gratitude. You can go to hell. You know, gratitude for that. That's like me thanking you for cleaning up my living room after you took a crap on the coffee table. Yeah, that's right. The stench will continue to linger long after, much like your white privilege. And that's actually a quote from Brother Black Knight. Thank you, Brother Black Knight, for breaking that down for us. Because if you wasn't clear on that, I think you are now. Let me see what else I got going here. Oh, yeah. There is this mythology in Western history that Africans didn't leave the continent, that they had no idea about what was across the ocean. Okay, that was European mythology, and that's what they believed with this idea that the earth is flat. And you know what's crazy is you still got people, and some black people, running around talking about the earth is flat. They're known as flat earthers. Okay? Don't forget that the Africans civilized and colonized the world. And when I say the African colonized the world, don't get that mixed with the European brand of colonization where they come and steal people's resources and murder them and enslave them. That was not the way of the African. According to Paul Alfred Barton, the author of A History of the African Olmecs, Black civilizations of America from prehistoric times to the present era, ancient kingdoms in West Africa have a long history of trade by sail, which made it all the more likely that they eventually expanded their trade to the Americas. While the Sahara is a dry desert today, its past as a lake-filled, wet and fertile place has been well documented. African ships often crossed these large lakes to get from place to place and traded with other African civilizations along the way. After expanding their trade to the Americas, they certainly made their mark, as things like African native cotton were soon being discovered all across North America. Okay? Let me tell you something. The Africans were building ships before the Europeans were wearing shoes. According to the renowned American history linguist Leo Weiner of Harvard University, one of the strongest pieces of evidence to support the fact that black people sailed to America before Christopher Columbus was a journal entry from Columbus himself. In Weiner's book, Africa and Discovery of America, he explains that Columbus noted in his journal that the Native Americans confirmed black-skinned people had come from the southeast in boats trading in gold-tipped spears. All right, this is something that many of us are aware of. American narcotics were discovered in Egyptian mummies. Egyptian mummies had cocaine in them. And Egyptian artifacts were found in North America. Like I said, we colonized the world, educated the world, civilized the world. That's what the African brought. He brought education and civilization, healing powers, teaching people how to live. For years, Eurocentric archaeologists have largely turned the other cheek when it came to discovery of artifacts from ancient Egypt being discovered in the Americas. According to Dr. David Imhotep, the author behind the book The First Americans Were Africans, Documented Evidence, Egyptian artifacts found across North America, from the Algolian writings on the East Coast to the artifacts in Egyptian place names in the Grand Canyon, are all signs of an early arrival in the Americas by Africans. This is also paired with a much earlier account of black people with incredible skills at sea. Back in 445 BC, the Greek historian Herodotus wrote of King Ramses III leading a team of Africans at sea with astounding seafaring and navigational skills. Together, both accounts would point to Africans sailing over to the New World long before Columbus. Long before Columbus. Constructing pyramids was a highly specialized and complicated task that took the ancient Egyptians a lot of time to master. In ancient Egypt, there are signs of progression from the original step pyramid of Djoser, which was designed by Imhotep. Okay. According to historians, it would be impossible for any group of people to have built those same complex pyramids without going through the same progression. Professor Everett Borders noted the presence of completed pyramids in La Venta in Mexico, but the unusual absence of any earlier forms of pyramids. According to Borders, it's a sign that Africans have already mastered the construction of pyramids in Egypt, sailed over to the New World, and constructed these dual-purpose tombs and temples in the Americas. Okay? And that just goes on and on. The proof is overwhelming. Forget about it. The proof is overwhelming. You hear me? Don't get it mixed. Don't get it mixed. Move on to something else here. This is something that a lot of us don't want to deal with, but it's the reality. Even some of us that claim consciousness and are woke tend to want to turn a blind eye to this. But it is the reality. Generational trauma. This is why there are so many psycho-twisted serial killers that are the majority white. Demonic sociopaths. And what that brings us to is from Psychology Today to back that up. Epigenetics and psychology. All human characteristics, including psychological ones, are influenced to some extent by genetics. Since the epigenome modulates the effects of an individual's genome, and because it can be influenced by external factors, it is naturally a major area of exploration for those seeking to understand how individual differences, mental illness, and other aspects of cognitive life take place. Now, I have some people say, man, oh, okay, what the hell does that mean? Right? What's up, Brother Jakeem, Brother Kyle? Right? What that means is, okay, you've seen pictures of lynchings and what have you. Okay? These are the same people that use their babies for alligators. These are the same people that ate black people after they lynched them and burned them alive and barbecued them. Okay? If you think that mindset just went away, it didn't. It continues to this day, which is why you could have such unfeeling people murder people in the street, murder black people in the street. Because this is who they are. This is who they are. Studies show that modern Europeans' genetic makeup only appeared about 3,000 years ago. After, well, not 3,000 years ago, only appeared after 3000 BC. Let me get that straight. This means that prior to that date, there were no genetically modern Europeans on Earth. This also means that Europeans can't be the builders of any civilization that appeared before 3000 BC, since they didn't exist yet. So where the hell did they come from? Okay, where the hell did they come from? Okay, here's the thing. Y'all remember when they put that fake white Nefertiti up? Her actual face is carved on her husband, Pharaoh Akhenaten's temple. Okay, that fake. I remember when the guy unveiled this fake Nefertiti, the shock on the face of the black reporter that was standing there, even though she didn't say nothing. That couldn't have been me. And not only that, but that statuette, that bust that he on there, that wench was ugly. I don't give a damn. Nefertiti was a black woman. There were no white humans in Europe until long after most of the blacks that were there fled from the monstrous, savage Neanderthals and returned to Africa. Some stayed and tried to tame the savages and actually mated with them and tried to civilize them. The Neanderthal human mutations could not be civilized and remain hunter-gatherers. The problem was the Neanderthal human mutants, like their Neanderthal ancestors, had calcified pineal glands and thus could not produce melanin. Thus, they were genetically inferior with weak immune systems and susceptible to disease. Like most fur bearers, Neanderthals feared fire and ate raw meat. Eventually, they died off. Their Neanderthal human offsprings bred a measure of the Neanderthal out and could no longer compete with wild animals in the manner their savage parents could, and sought higher ground for protection. Many gathering in mountainous areas like the Caucasus Mountains. However, these offspring still had calcified pineal glands, could not produce melanin, remained genetically inferior, and their taste for blood and savage nature has been barely tempered to this day. That's not racism, that's science, y'all. The Caucasian oppressed, murdered, and made war on each other for centuries until they came in contact with other societies. Then they oppressed, murdered, and made war on them. It is in their ancestral bloodlust. It's in their DNA. I'm Patrice Gibbs. This is The Open Eye on WHGE 95.3 FM. Stay tuned. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, there we go. Brother Carl. WHGE 95.3 FM, The Open Eye. I want to give you a quote from Gil Scott-Heron. We got some young people out there that don't know about Gil Scott. By all means, look him up. A little over 21 years ago, I was introduced into what is laughingly referred to as civilization. He wrote this when he was a young man. This term in itself demonstrates how mankind has managed to maintain a sense of humor throughout all of history's chaos. I'm a black man dedicated to expression of the joy and pride of blackness. I consider myself neither poet, composer, or musician. These are merely tools used by sensitive men to carve out a piece of beauty or truth that they hope may lead to peace and salvation. Spoken like a true artist, Brother Dill. Rest in power. A couple of weeks ago, I reported on a coach at Grambling University dismissing all the players. I mistakenly said on the basketball team, it was on the volleyball team. And I will tell you that I was really passionate about that report, because what she did was she kicked all of the whole team. She cut the whole team. There's a black woman, Chelsea Lucas. She cut her entire 19-member team and revoked their scholarships. That's the crazy. Revoked their scholarships. Denying them their education. A black woman did this. The former Grambling State University volleyball players who were cut earlier this month by the team's new coach are telling their own stories in a new piece from USA Today. Chelsea Lucas was hired to coach the Louisiana school's volleyball squad in February. She had come from the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff after posting a sub .500 record after 3 seasons. That below-the-line performance didn't dissuade her from feeling she needed to make big changes for her new roster, though. By the end of March, Lucas had cut all 19 players. Not only did that mean they no longer had a uniform or a role to play on the court, but they no longer had scholarships to pay for their education. The former players now tell USA Today that they felt something was off from the very beginning. In the weeks following her appointment, Lucas' cold nature with the players continued. They only had 3 practice sessions together, and most of which consisted of very few volleyball-related drills and a lot of punishment-related running, according to multiple players. Most players and parents around the program feel Lucas and the athletics department decision to cut the roster was premeditated, given the circumstances that led up to it. What exactly were them circumstances? For one, a number of players from Lucas' old Arkansas Pine Bluff team entered the transfer portal, the NCAA's system for allowing athletes to move from one university to another, just as Lucas was taking her new job. Former Grambling players say it was a signal that the new coach wanted to bring her former players with her. See, rotten hussy. Now there's a petition with nearly 2,500 signatures demanding that the former Grambling players get their spots back and that Lucas, as well as Grambling's athletic director, lose their jobs, and they should. Having played and coached at the high school and college level, the author of this report said, "I never stop being shocked how many coaches are in it to feed their pathological egos and line their pockets." I added that in. And not as a means to help young people turn into mature, healthy adults. Damn. WHGE 95.3 FM, The Open Eye. What's up, brother?
Yeah, I got great. Yeah, what's good? Tell Kim, yo, Kyle, yeah, Kyle, Jerry, yo, Tracy, what's good? Yeah, hey, yo, Flo, yeah, Meese, what's happening? Yo, yeah, I know. You know I live far. Too far. I live far. I'm not close. Yeah, I mean. Son.
Hey.
Shout.
All right. WHGE 95.3 FM.
Yeah.
Over I with your host, Patrice Gibbs.
No
Joined by my brother, Nsoromma.
Chop.
What's up, brother? How you doing?
What's good? Hello, world.
All
What's
right.
good?
Yes, indeed.
I hear you on my way in. I hear you.
I heard that. What's going on here?
What?
You know, I did a thing a while back. I should have brought it with me, but I recorded it called Past Blues.
Past Blues.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, I put Jimi Hendrix music behind it, so it got taken down off of YouTube for copyright crap or whatever. Okay, that's all right. But in that, I don't want to call it a poem, I guess, but in that little thing that I did, one of the things that I said is, you put us in a position where we're not able to do anything, and then you say, see? You know, Richard Pryor said that, you know.
Right.
You know, they put us in a position we can't earn, we can't get ourselves educated, this, that, and then you turn around and say, see? So now we got crime in the community.
Right.
Okay? So what do you do about it? Because you want to be safe. Now the building I live in, okay, you go down the hall, you do something shaky, guess what? You're on camera. Big brother is watching. You know? So if somebody come up to your door, banging on your door and acting a fool, you want proof of that, don't you? Don't you think the city would help you out with that? What do you think, brother?
Well, throughout over the last week, maybe since last Saturday, I'm like my boy Mitch, Hood News. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We really the ear on the street too. We hear a lot of stuff that goes on in the street too.
Of course.
So it's a good thing that the city's going around and giving everybody on the east side a doorbell ring.
A doorbell ring.
Yeah, the ring that you can put on your doorbell and you can see who coming up to your door and all of that. Well, the city is providing that free.
Okay.
As a security safety measure for the people.
Right. Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And them security cameras is all linked into each other.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So
Wait a minute.
Operation Peekaboo might be in the I don't know, but.
They all linked to each other.
I kind of like the ideal of what they have going on, but how do you think?
Well, I think that, like I said, it put us in a position where there's crime in our community,
Right.
orchestrated by the powers that be,
Right.
and then they give us cameras, say, see, you need to be watched, and they give these cameras under the guise of keeping us safe,
Right.
but they're all linked in, and they're all linked into the city.
Oh yeah, so they can really say who's coming to your house, and I mean, it's how you feel about that. You know.
Yeah.
But some people like it, some people don't. It ain't my place to say. You know what I'm saying? But
I'm gonna say I think that's a little shaky.
You think it's shaky?
I think it's a little shaky.
Do they go in white neighborhoods and give them out?
No. Well, of course, I know people that have them,
right?
In well-to-do neighborhoods and what have you.
But I mean, they wouldn't be linked together like that, though. You don't think, right?
Right.
I mean, they all linked together. Like, I can go to your house and see who's coming on your porch. That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
I mean, that don't go together with me.
No,
you
that
know
don't
what
go
I'm saying?
together with me either.
I'm a private kind of person.
I am too.
So,
I am too.
yeah, that's crazy. But thanks to the city. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Thank you,
They
Wilmington.
giving out the door rings.
Yeah.
I think that's a good move.
Thank you, Wilmington.
The operation, what was it? Peekaboo. That's my boy said. Peekaboo.
Peekaboo.
Yo, but you stupid.
Yeah. Get your ass in trouble too.
Yeah.
All right. Look, let's take a look at the society we living in and how we got here.
Yo, that's messy. How we got to be messy.
How we got to be messy. All right. The enclosures of the English Commons. Okay. To some people, yeah. What's that mean to us? Okay. Well, this is the rise of capitalism.
Oh, okay.
Okay, the start of it. It started with the enclosures of English colonies. Okay, now, check it out. Prior to the establishment of modern property rights in England, most of the rural land was more or less shared by commoners, yeomen, and peasants. And this land was known as the commons.
Okay.
Okay? Now, sometime around 1600s, lords and vassals started kicking the commoners off that land, aka enclosing it, the enclosure of the English colonies. This change is mostly attributed to the rise of the European merchant class, as well as this dork philosopher who is known as John Locke, who wrote a treatise in 1690. This is how far back this mess goes, where he basically said that it was landowners' obligation to dispossess the commoners and make money from the land because that's what God wanted. But these sinful ass people, they sure will blame God for their crap. Now the enclosures forced hundreds of thousands of people into homelessness and vagrancy, roaming the English countryside and into the slums of the newly industrialized cities. The English Parliament responded by reinforcing and passing more vagrancy laws. So yeah, capitalism began by creating poverty and then outlawing the poverty that they created. Damn if that don't sound familiar.
I mean, like Michael said, that's where the bamboozle come in at. They bamboozle you. You know what I'm saying? They go, oh, okay, yeah, it's a burger, but just rub it on the outside of your stomach before you home. You know what I'm saying? You can't really chew it, just rub it on the outside and you'll feel better. You know, I mean, they doing that right now. And you seen Biden with the president, not to be going off, but you see, he's messy, man. Continue, man. Wow.
He's a capitalist.
He's messy.
Now, like I said, this criminalizing poverty is an old European tradition, a capitalist tradition. Okay, Kentucky has its old home. Alabama is sweet home. Tennessee has Rocky Top, but there's no house there, and for a good reason. Houses in Tennessee are increasingly hard to come by. On any given day, there are more than 7,000 adults experiencing homelessness in Tennessee alone. And that's according to the U.S. Interagency Council for Homelessness.
But that's what I mean by this president. And all of this going on, he can send $33 billion to Ukraine, but he can't give $1 billion to our own people. I mean, how can we participate with this fake America? You know what I mean?
Right.
It's not, they're not trying to help benefit the people here that made America what it is. I don't understand that we, as a people, not standing up and getting these kind of people out of office. You know what I'm saying? It's just baffling, man.
It is. And that number rises to nearly 20,000.
Wow.
When you consider homeless students.
Wow, man.
Now that was in January of 2020. The pandemic and rising housing prices have no doubt exasperated that figure.
And that's happening all over. That just ain't in Tennessee. This is what you did.
Right. That's what I said. Tennessee is just an example.
Right.
All right.
That's messy, man.
But here's the thing in Tennessee.
What?
Rather than try to help people of the volunteer state navigate this housing crisis,
right?
This week, Tennessee Republicans passed a law which criminalizes homelessness.
Right, because that's the only way they can make their money is locking people up through the system. It's the same old slave mentality is still in effect, and they've proven it every day. This government needs people to go to jail. They got contracts that's 100-year-old contracts with these prisons, these private prisons,
that was reported on last week.
They have to provide human beings to these prisons. And who do you think they're going to be? You know, homeless people that can't afford their stuff, mostly black people, and mostly Spanish and underprivileged poor people.
Right.
That's barely making. They miss a check. They on the street.
They on the street.
You know what I'm saying? So
That's too
it's
many people
serious.
didn't check the
And
check.
the government knows this, but you can give $33 billion to a
Ukraine.
cause that you ain't got nothing to do with, and you got people here in your own home starving and dying,
Right.
and you know, and we as a democracy go and vote for these clowns.
Are you kidding me?
Yo, that's messy, man.
Yeah, it is. Okay. Now, if this is signed into law by Governor Lee,
Wow.
who's also a Republican and probably will, it will criminalize people for camping on the shoulder of the road or under a bridge, road, or overpass. Okay? Let's be clear what this law is meant to do. It builds on a 2012 law which made it illegal to camp on public property. Tennessee Republicans passed that law following the 2011 Occupy Wall Street protest, which saw demonstrators camp out in literally occupied public spaces, such as parks and monuments. Okay? Following the 2020 protests against the murder of George Floyd, Tennessee Republicans began criminalizing acts of protest. I think that's unconstitutional.
It is. A lot of stuff that they're doing is unconstitutional. They trying to take your First Amendment right away right now. They're trying to say you can't even think and speak how you want to speak. And get the information freely as it is on the planet. You know what I mean? These people is really crazy, man.
Yeah.
I mean, what do we do about it?
What's the answer?
Yeah. Do we really have to stand up and arm up and be ready for this this government that's trying to enforce us to lose our human rights?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
You know what? Let me tell you.
When do we put your
Tell you
foot
something
down?
that Malcolm X said. I'm going to paraphrase. I don't have the quote in front of me, so
Right.
I'm going to paraphrase here. Where Malcolm X said during his time, when the white press wanted to talk about what was going on to black people, they didn't go to Malcolm X. They didn't go to James Baldwin. They didn't go to Martin Luther King. They went to Ella Fitzgerald and Lena Horne and entertainers of the time. Okay?
Right.
What the hell them entertainers had to do with our struggle? Yeah, they were black people and they experienced
But they
some
were
of the
the
things.
activists. They didn't go to the activists.
Right.
You know,
And
they
that's
went to
it, exactly.
The hired help.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
exactly. And
So-
that was his point.
Yeah.
That was his point. Now, listen here. If you spend $44 billion on your ego, which is what Elon Musk did, okay, your mental illness is priceless. It's in a place that can't be reached. All right?
Now say that again.
If you spend $44 billion
Right.
on your ego is in a place, it's priceless. It's in a place that can't be reached. You're a case study that could go on for 150 years. That's how sick you are. All right? Elon Musk bought Twitter for $44 billion. Now, Elon Musk said if the UN could come up with a plan to end world homelessness, he would pay for it. He'd give $6 billion for it. They came up with the plan and he said, well, I didn't really mean that. I ain't giving y'all nothing. But he could spend $44 billion because he didn't like people criticizing him on Twitter.
And he also bought it to say that, you know, the government is controlling the media platform. They you only get the information that they want you to get. You know, and then a lot of stuff, a lot of the phones now, we can get access our own self, and we can get the information before they distort it.
Yeah.
So, you know, Elon Musk said, okay, y'all want to act like that? I'm going to buy Twitter and I'm going to let people say, and it's going to be an open thing. You can't even say nothing about it because it's mine.
Okay.
You understand?
Now, here's the problem with Elon Musk
Keeping
on
freedom
Twitter.
of speech going and keeping the freedom of information act in effect.
Yeah, but listen to what I said.
What?
Elon Musk bought Twitter because he didn't want nobody criticizing his silly ass. Okay? Elon Musk bought Twitter because he didn't want Twitter shutting down white supremacists calling us the N-word. Elon Musk is a piece of crap who doesn't give a damn about free speech. Yeah. And you got celebrities like Ice Cube and getting up talking about, oh, free at last, we can say what we want. He didn't buy it for you to have a voice. He bought it to shut down people criticizing him and to continue to allow white supremacists to spew their sickness.
So did you talk to Elon Musk personally and he tell you this?
I didn't have to. I know what an idiot he is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And you fools running around saying that Elon Musk is an African American and you proud he bought Twitter, you can go to hell with your silly ass. Elon Musk is a European whose people colonized South Africa. The hell out of here.
Does you know where his money came from?
Yeah. His money came from his father, who stole an emerald mine over, whose people stole, what do you call it? An emerald mine over in South Africa and gave his son millions of dollars to get started. And this crap about he pulled himself up by his bootstraps is BS.
BS.
We on the air.
Yo, listen. If you got the question, Mr. Gibbs got the answer. Trust me. So call in. Don't be playing. 844-WHGE 95.3. For real.
Come on with it. Okay, I want to thank, yeah, buddy, time flying. Okay, I want to thank Sister Tracy Johnson.
Thank you, Chase.
All right, for posting this. Black people are sharing the rules they follow that most white people don't even know about. And this is so important. Okay, in this post, the person said, we recently wrote up the unwritten rules people of color follow that most white people don't have to worry about. Well, there were many submissions. Let's start with the first one. No matter how angry you get, you try, that's rule number one. You got to try to remain calm. If you raise your voice even a little, regardless of what you say or how you say it, you're instantly labeled an angry black person and judged wrongly, even when you're right. Okay.
And you can get killed for it.
And you can get killed for it.
Okay.
All right. And this usually, the angry black woman is aimed at black women. And this is a quote from one of the people that talked about that. As a black woman, it's frustrating to see that black women are seen as angry, aggressive, combative, and or difficult when disagreeing about something, while my white peers are seen as passionate, energetic, spirited debaters. It's disappointing, unfair, and can have a serious impact on one's career. So if you're a corporate worker and you're passionate about something that goes on your corporate job, you're labeled the angry black woman and could pretty much end your career. Okay, rule number 2. My mother taught me to always ask for a bag and a receipt, no matter how small the purchase, or you can be accused of stealing.
That's right.
Yep, seen that many times. That's word. As a black man, my father taught me when being pulled over by the police to pull your insurance and registration out of the glove box and keep it ready on your seat. That way you do not have to reach in the glove box when the police are at your window. My brother gave me
and don't turn around.
And don't turn around.
Don't look back. Don't look back.
Right. My brother gave me a little thing that hooks onto my dashboard.
NWA, the police.
Yeah. That hooks onto my dashboard. So that, if I get pulled over, I got it right there, visible, so they can see it. And all I got to do is pull it out. Okay, rule number 4 is from a black woman. As a black woman in a predominantly white area, I make a point of approaching staff first in stores when I walk in. And I ask an innocuous question in a friendly, high-pitched voice, even if I don't need anything. They seem to feel safer around me and do not follow me around when I do that first. You know what, sister? Stop doing that. Don't give a damn about how they feel. Don't give a damn about their comfort. That's word.
Hold on. You sure you want to say that? Because, it's a law that you can't make them uncomfortable.
Oh, yeah, that's in Florida, yeah.
I mean, they taking that around the world, my brother. Yeah. So, their comfortability is
it's law.
Yeah.
Well, I'm be a lawbreaker, and I advise y'all to break that law and keep them all uncomfortable.
And that's what they do. They make laws.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta understand the flip that you getting.
Mm-hmm.
If we say that you doing this to us and we don't like that, and they'll go, okay, we'll make a law for y'all. Then if y'all got a problem with it, we making a law that y'all can't say nothing about it. Now, that's the way the government thinks.
That's their mindset.
That's the whole
White
mindset
supremacy.
of the government.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the Republican thing. You know what I'm saying? So I don't understand. They lost the fact that the world is a humanity, and it's a planet. You know, they trying to break it down to these states, and each state got a leader, Ku Klux Klan member running it, basically. You know what I'm saying? So we got to understand the hold that they got on us. And we gotta do something about that, man. We gotta pick up a plan and get war ready or something. Even animals won't let you come kill their babies like they do our kids in the street. Police officers that we supposed to be trusting.
Yeah.
You know.
And you know what? You people out there that are filming police brutality and white supremacy, genocidal activities going on. You know what? I'm gonna tell you this. All right, you can take it any way you want.
The camera should be down, the brick should be fine.
Exactly.
I ain't
put that damn camera down and do something about the situation.
You know?
All right.
That's why they're so scared of Tupac. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You gotta be a warrior.
That's
and
right.
now they made up this new thing. It's the DHS or something. This new program. This Disinform Information Act that they got.
Oh yeah.
This it's a whole nother agency that they just came up out of nowhere and made up inside the government. And they that attack is on us.
Of course it is. Well, okay. Here's rule number 5. All right, and this one to me trips me out. As a black woman, I usually keep my college jacket in the car in case I have to go to the emergency room. I'll receive a better treatment if doctors see that I have a higher education. I'm sorry, sister, that's not the case. They don't give a damn about how educated you are. They gonna mistreat your ass. Okay, this one real. I'm from Louisiana. Yeah. I'm from Louisiana where they still have sundown towns. Avoid them at all costs. But if you have to pass through at night, make sure to have a full tank of gas so that you don't have to stop. For those of you that don't know what a sundown town is,
I'm okay. I'm listening.
A sundown town is a town, you know, that is not just predominantly white, but all white. And if you as a black person find yourself in that town, they let you know you want to be out of there by sundown, unless we're allowed to kill your ass.
But the government know these towns exist.
Oh yeah,
and
and they're all over.
You don't see nothing being done about it.
Nope.
Nothing. I mean, if they just passed the act on lynching, so these towns are known for that.
Yes.
So why they aren't attacking and pressing charges and arresting people that you know, if any person got hung in that town, they can go pick out anybody in their house and pull them out for the simple fact that they could have been involved.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, but you don't see them enforcing that.
Now here's a black woman that says she's a black woman relatively new to her mostly white neighborhood. She says, when I walk for exercise, I always walk in the middle of the street, not too close to houses on either side. I wear reflective gear and avoid staring too closely at any of the houses. I often think of Ahmaud Arbery while walking. Okay? And for those of you who don't remember, Ahmaud Arbery was murdered for jogging in a predominantly white neighborhood. I was taught, and I believe that's my card, I was taught to be an overachiever because no one expects a black woman to be smart and well-spoken. I'm not expected to have a voice in anything, and many are shocked when I do. They are astounded when I can verbalize my thoughts and opinions in multi-syllable words. Melanin and ovaries do not cancel out intelligence and reasoning.
Right.
You know, and that's, you know, I remember when Obama was running for president. One of the things that Biden said, who was running against him at the time in the Democratic primaries, was that he was impressed that he was clean and articulate. What the hell? You're impressed that he took a bath and was smart enough to verbalize his views? Damn.
Yes.
I'm telling you.
I'm afraid so, son.
Yep. Never ever put your hands in your pockets while walking around the store. If you don't want to give them a reason to follow you around or call the police, your hands need to be visible at all times. I don't give a damn about that one either. You want to follow me around the store? Come on, let's have some fun.
Listen, I'm the type of put my hands in my pocket purposely. I want you to touch me so I can stretch you out.
I heard that.
Straight like that. I mean, unless you see me steal something or take something or do something to that effect, if you put your hands on me, listen, don't do it. It's verbally already stated out. Please don't do that.
He ain't the one.
I'm not the one.
I'm telling you.
It's serious, man. It's serious, man.
As a black man, never get into an elevator with a white woman alone. Always wait for the next one, especially an elevator ain't got no cameras. You come out of there with a rape charge.
Anything. Yeah, that's dangerous, man.
Yeah.
That's dangerous, man.
Something I know I have to be careful of in public as a person with mixed with white and black is remember which parent I'm with and how to act. This is called code switching.
Am I crying right now? I am bagging up so bad right now. I am bagging up right now. She said she don't know which one to have. I'm crying right now, yo. I really am, yo. Listen,
You know,
I never thought about that. You know what I'm saying? Because there never had to be a situation for me to think about it. For her to throw that in the air like that.
And look, sir, I have to make sure I act okay so I'm not labeled as ghetto when I'm with my black mom or whitewash when I'm with my white dad. Help.
Yo,
help.
Oh my God. That's why the kids be going, they be messed up, man.
Yeah.
You know?
That's right.
We all human, man. Wow.
No matter how cold or windy it is, my hood stays off and my earphones stay off my ears. So he won't wear his hoodie because, you know, if we're wearing a hoodie, we're a thug. As a black man who loves hip-hop, I often have to censor the music that I listen to so I won't be judged as a thug. Stop doing that.
Right. Definitely stop.
The hell with them. And, cut that out.
Stop worrying about them.
That's work.
Period.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Stand on your own and get your own and build up your own community. And then you could like what it is you do comfortably. You know? Quit trying to blend with people that don't like you. You know, that'll never work. You will always be looked at as the bottom totem pole of whatever it is being done, man.
That's word.
Get on your
So
own
stop
feet,
trying to
man.
appease them.
Yeah, man.
As a black man, if there's a white woman in line, you stand back far enough so you cannot touch her by mistake or be accused of touching her. I'm going to have to go with that one because I seen the little 9-year-old boy in New York a couple of years ago accidentally bumped into this white woman and she called the cops and swore he grabbed her ass. Come on, he was 9 years old. Grabbing ass was not on his mind. He's thinking about boom.
I forgot the boot on that. That was too clean. That was too clean. I had to bring the boot back.
I heard that.
Mr. Carey, boot. I'm late though.
Knowing that I'll be followed when shopping in high-end stores, I have product-related questions prepared for when they invariably ask me if I need assistance. Replying with no thank you, I'm just browsing makes their suspicion jump. And that's exactly what I do. I hope you're suspicious as hell. I'm going to give you a hard time.
I say I'm thinking about taking that couch right there.
You know? I have an unofficial entourage. I'm a college-educated black man about to turn 40, but I still have to play these sorts of silly games. It can be very exhausting. Stop playing them games with them.
Nah, I'm like a serious clown. I play the games. I play the game. I'm like homie.
I heard that.
Homie the clown.
Dude.
I'll let you play yourself all the way till I can give you this right hook.
I heard that. I heard that.
It ain't soft.
Yep.
It ain't no spongy nothing.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. You know, and it's a few more, but there's a couple I wanted to get at. Let me see.
What?
Don't wear any jewelry, sunglasses, or the brand when you are shopping in the store. Here's one where you're going to stretch somebody out. As a black woman, I had an employee rip Gucci shades off my head that were mine and tell me not to stretch the merchandise. I ain't going to stretch the merchandise. I'm going to stretch your ass out. Get the hell out of here.
Yo, that's definitely a stretch right there.
Yeah.
That is definitely a stretch.
And finally, I find myself begging to get adequate medical care for the autoimmune disease and pain that I deal with. Pain in black folks is viewed much differently than in white people. It blows my mind how a lot of people don't realize that black people get the short end of the stick in healthcare. Well, open eye listeners know. Because we talk about that and let you know, especially black women are not treated right in healthcare.
And not only in healthcare, but in every other business that the United States has to offer.
That's
period.
Yep.
Male and female black. So, I mean, if you don't realize that, you don't realize our government is a systemic racist government from just all the laws that they put in effect to keep black people and poverty people keep their foot on their neck. I mean, you are a clown.
How about that?
How about that?
How about that, brother? Damn. Well, coming around to 12 o'clock here,
It's 12 o'clock already?
Yeah, a little after. Get ready to clear out of here. So Timeless Thomas can do his thing. Stay tuned for Timeless Thomas.
Be easy.
All right. Jim Crow said, I'm back. Is blatant Jim Crow policy making a comeback in America? Actually, it ain't never went nowhere. The Civil Rights Act of 1964 outlaws segregation in stores, restaurants, theaters, and in public places in general. However, because of the human white resistance, it actually took years after the act was signed for many of these places to actually be segregated. And some of them, a lot of them, never really did. Which is why you have crap going on like, what was it? Starbucks called the cops on a black man soon he walked in, or a couple of black brothers soon they walked in. You know, actually it was the mere presence of black people that irritate and motivate whites to call the cops. And that's it in a nutshell. The mere presence of black people is enough to make some white people react with anything from blatant hostility to outright violence. The reaction by irritated whites can lead them to call the cops, which of course can get a black person killed, or motivate hostile whites to commit violence. Case in point, a young high school freshman asked whites where his new school was and was answered with gunfire. The kid tried to find his school and they shot at him. So obviously the current practice for white people who feel uncomfortable with black people is to react violently or call the cops, who will show up and arrest or kill the black people who had the audacity to make white people uncomfortable.
Why black people can't call the cops? Why we can't call the cops on them?
Well,
why we can't be the first to call the cops?
Yeah.
When we see the white person coming up to us, I'm scared. I think you're going to try to hang us. I think you're going to try to do something to us.
And you know
with
why?
them terrorist N-words. You know, I mean, call the cops on them and have your heat on you because you have the right to bear arms. If you don't have a felon, I suggest you go get that because the world is becoming crazy. So you have to protect yourself.
This sister called the cops on her neighbor who pointed a gun at her.
Wow.
For no reason. They had no words. Nothing. He pointed a gun at her because she was black. She called the cops, and of course she's upset and excited. And now he pulled a gun on me, this, that, and the other. And the cop said, what? You need to calm down. Calm down. He just pulled a gun on me. I said you need to calm. And the next thing you know, this cop then put her in the headlock, body slammed her, cuffed her up, and put her in the car.
Because he racist, and that was his cousin.
Yeah.
That pointed the gun.
You know,
you gotta know who you're dealing with.
I know
you know what I'm saying? You gotta start being smarter too when they do call these police officers and stuff like that. So we can build our case because they sometimes pull up also knowing that they don't want this N-word to have no type of
justice.
Right. So once that's already in their head, which a lot of them already have in their head, I mean, that you have to deal with that.
Right.
Because only real person that can judge you is the judge. So I'll say, okay, look.
You know what that brings me to?
What?
Aren't you innocent until proven guilty?
Yeah.
Don't you have the right to do justice? representation in court
As a human being.
and to be judged.
We are human.
Okay? Because we don't get that. What we get is a cop that shows up, judge, jury, and executioner.
Right there.
Even if you don't want to
get
call
in
the
trouble
cops.
for it. Don't get no type of. They go home and eat cereal with their kids.
Mm-hmm.
After that, and your family died. You dead, and your family. I mean,
Yeah.
think about what's going on.
That's where, you know. This is the Open Eye. I'm Patrice Gibbs.
Nsoromma.
And as we always tell you, destiny determines who enters your life, but you decide who stays.
Right.
Therefore, value those who value you, and don't treat those as a priority who treat you.
As an option.
All right. WHGE 95.3 FM.
Yaga. Yo, you know what it is. Nsoromma, Pat, doing what we do. The Open Eye Radio Show, 11 a.m. Saturday. I thank y'all for tuning in. Tracy, Kyle, Jake, Jakim, yo, Jadea, yo, the whole squad. You dig me? Nisi, Zach, Kiana, Ron, what's good? I see you.
Calling in or wherever you got them people from talking about I wear my college jacket to the motherfucker.
Hey, thank y'all for tuning in.
Blacker.
Everybody that contributed to the show, thank you very much. Anything you posted that helped us along, I really appreciate you. Vaughn, Jakeem, Jadea, Tracy, Sherry, hey, thanks for tuning in, y'all. Big ups, the Open Eye.
I need one time, super please.
All right.
It ain't